Hello, MrMatchow here, and actually, we're doing something a little bit different here. It's probably been a while since I've posted anything, but yeah, I've been busy, so busy. But essentially, I think I'm probably going to call this MrMatchat, but the name is pretty shit, so I think it's going to be something that I'm going to work on. But essentially, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a game, something I've played through, and just talk about it because I think talking is something I'm good at. I feel like I can do it. I've been doing it for a lot of my life. Well, a high percentage. but I just kind of wanted to speak about the games that have always sort of interested me, and as you guys probably can tell by the title, I'm actually going to be speaking about Gone Home. Now, for those of you who don't know about Gone Home, which is going to be the gameplay in the background, it is essentially a narrative. It's not really. There are gameplay elements to it, but it essentially is a narrative in which you play a character called Katie, and you're going home. And when you get home, everything's missing. But I should probably send a warning now that there will be some spoilers. If you haven't played the game, go play it. It's like cheap as dicks. So if you like, that's a really bad narrative. it's quite cheap in Steam. There'll be a link in the description. Be sure to check it out because it is a very good game. Well, narrative using. I don't want to get in a whole discussion about what defines a game and everything. But what I really liked about Gone Home is the story. Because when you go into it, you essentially there's no like direct like objective get into the house. There's nothing like that. You're outside the house. There's a sign on the door, and at first you're actually locked out the house, so you have to look around to try and find a key. But throughout the game, there's no real sense of direction. I mean, you're never really told where to go. You just sort of have to figure it out. And as you progress through the game, more rooms are open for exploration, and you just continue to progress through. But what they've done about this Gone Home is the fact that it, as you sort of progress, it's all narrative led. So, for example, the reason why you explore the house is for these little these audio clips from Katie's sister explaining what's going on in her life at the time. Because it's also like, it's that sort of payoff. For example, like, rather than just walking around an empty house and just reading, you walk around, you find something of importance, an object that's just left around that otherwise could be simply ignored. You walk past it, you pick it up, and it starts this audio clip, which is normally related. Like, one of the things that always comes to my mind is when you're walking around and you find, it's like one of the first ones you find the moment you head upstairs. Inside one of the cabinets is a cassette tape, one that's been made by your sister's friend, and she starts talking about it, and you can see that it means quite a lot to her and her friend. But there's a lot that I feel like we can learn from Gone Home, because looking at it, the game itself, there's no goal. I mean, I've already said that about the objectives, but you start the game, you're going through, and you're only really continuing on out of your own interests. It sort of teases you along the way, because as you get forward, you learn more about a story of a different character that's not even there. I mean, you never see any character in the game apart from like pictures around the thing. You only have your own character, and you don't have a voice. Well, you do have a voice, but it's not really, you're not really walking around talking to yourself. And it's this idea of exploration that I feel hasn't been explored enough in games. It's the same sort of way that Dear Esther has done it, except it's on a smaller scale. I mean, rather than on some sort of island, you're actually in a house. The house itself is like, it's laid out as if it's lived in, and the house is actually quite it's a very fancy house. It's got a load of bedrooms and everything. And as you sort of explore each, you get the sense that there was a family here. And something that is sort of that is an extension of exploration within this game is the fact that you have the storyline of your sister and her friendships, and I'm gonna big spoiler alert, lesbianism. but you also have this like, if you're willing to look around, there's so many different like little smaller plots. You have obviously you know your parents are away on a an anniversary, but yet you find out things about both of your parents. The fact that your dad's books aren't selling as well as they should, and he's somewhat losing his flair. And then your mum is doing well at work, and she might be cheating on your dad, which is why they're not actually going on their anniversary. They're actually going for marriage counselling. But you wouldn't know that unless you've gone through and tried, like, studied everything. You know, you it's a sort of thing where it rewards you for exploration, but then again doesn't punish you if you don't. If you didn't look at any of the scripts of paper, or you didn't go exploring, all you would know is the fact that your sister, has left. I mean, she's gone, and I don't know. I really like this game. I hope that's sort of coming across of how much, because out of my personal opinion, I like the heavy narrative games. It sort of begs the question: does a game need core mechanics for it to still be a game, or does it just need a really good narrative to sort of drill you in? Because apart from, there's a few things like item manipulation, which you just hold an item and spin it, but apart from that, how different is this game from? Well, it's definitely more interactive than a film, but it feels like on the same sort of level. It's no cutscenes. It never sort of takes you out of the experience, but itself is very contained. Um, but that's pretty much. I basically, this is just like a 10-minute thumbsuck on like Gone Home of how much I like it. But these are gonna be more regular. This is gonna be like a weekly series in which I come back with a different game that I've played over the weekend. I just talk about it and the things that I liked. On the other side though, some of the things that I didn't really like about Gone Home. Um, I feel like maybe there could have been more to do with your own character. Um, because obviously you get the idea that you've gone away traveling for a little bit, and now you're just coming home slightly earlier than expected. But I don't know. I mean, you get the sort of feeling that you and your sister care for one another, but you never really get a sense of who you are. And maybe it's to sort of keep that sort of keep it quite ambiguous, so you can sort of fill the gap. If you have a sister that you sort of know like this, you can still connect to it. But I don't know. I think it is a good balance. And one thing, going back to the ending, I think it is somewhat of a payoff. Once you go through everything, it's a very short game. It won't take you long to go through. Maybe an hour, maybe two, if you're, you know, really really keen in exploring and finding everything. But at the end of the, it's a good payoff. Basically, you find out that all these sort of like audio clips you've been having on the way through is actually from a diary, and it's it feels like it definitely comes across as the diary entries that you're being told are actually diary entries, and they're written personally. I definitely feel the ending's a payoff because you go into it and the game touches on quite a few of a lot of different like subjects, which I mean, I guess they would have been more an issue back when it was set, because it's set a few years in the past, like the 1990s, earlys, and it's just it's just a good game. It's a good story, and I think as a game designer myself, well, I'm not going to say that. It's just a really good narrative, and game designers can take a page from Gone Home about how we can do this. I mean, it's just good. I highly recommend playing it. Is the moral of the story is what I can say. So I'm not gonna like give this game a rating. I'm not gonna like say, oh, 9 out of 10. It's if you like exploration, a heavy narrative, and a sense of characters. Well, a character, you get to know one character really well, and I feel like they've really captured what would be going on inside her head. I mean, like I said, people can learn a lot from this game, and you just have to give it the time. So, this has been MrMatchow. Be sure to play Gone Home. As I said, there's going to be a description link below. Let me know what you think of this new format. They're going to be coming out probably weekly. It's just nice and simple stuff for me to do. But, yeah, let me know what you think. And, yeah, Speak to you soon. Bye.